In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, guys? Apparently, according to Dustin Malcode, it's Tire Tuesday. So, wanted to make sure that I corresponded with that properly. Little Zeno, it's Wrenchin Wednesday. So, here we are. I'm just kidding. I had to make a horse's ass of myself before I got started. Oh, God. What's up, everybody? Hopefully, you got to see that. I don't like making fun of them. What's going on, guys? Don't have many people in here yet. Hopefully, everybody's getting signed up for the Rumble. That's why I was just a touch late. I was trying to get quick time doing that, and I definitely didn't. I had to stumble all over everything. What's up, Mark? Yeah, you're counting. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's I got a little excited and started the stream, but never started the time. It's about as good as the timing and scoring at Raw the day that when everybody fell out of my heat race except for me. If you remember that. Oh, that's awesome. What's going on, everybody? Everybody coming in? Yeah, Josh, make sure you go sign up. I just signed up. They said to make sure you have your transponder numbers, but there was nowhere to put them on their sign up list. So that's okay. Hi, mom. My mom, everybody, my mom's in here. So everybody don't act up. Everybody stay cool. What's going on today, everybody? I've got all kinds of stuff we're working on today. I've got all kinds of weird conversion stuff that I'm trying and all that. I kind of bummed. I not bummed out, but I didn't get to race last weekend. I got real busy with work and didn't get a chance to get away. And then this weekend, we're doing some family stuff, so I will not get to race again this weekend either. So I'll miss everybody. I'm sure most people are going down the slideways, so miss that, but that's all right. It's all good. Family obviously comes first, so we get to enjoy a weekend um, with the fam, and yeah. So I think then after that we go right into I think there's a club race. I think at PT's not this weekend but next weekend. So then that's probably where I'll be. So it'll be fun. I ended up having my stuff pretty decent on the last club race. Just ran out of talent for the most part. So, but yeah, if you guys are going to sign up, make sure you go sign up for the Rumble. Those signups just opened. They're only taking 300 people. So those just started. Oh, camera's falling. Sorry. Those just started. I'm trying to say track off. There we go. But yeah, all that just started. I think they started like 7 minutes ago is when they opened up all that. So maybe we'll get some more people in here once they get signed up. So it's all good. But cool. Hopefully everybody thought that opening scene was funny. I don't know if that was funny or it was more stupid than funny, I'm sure. I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay. Only got a few people in here. That's okay. Hopefully we'll get some more, like I said, after signups get going. But yeah. What's everybody up to tonight? Stetler's doing tires. Mark, are you racing anywhere this weekend? Are you going down to, or Josh, both of you guys are racers? Are you guys going to be in, you guys going down to Slideways or you guys doing something else? Volume's good. Hey, Ryan, what's up, dude? Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Everything's good. Yeah, busy stretch coming up here. I feel like this weekend, obviously, with Slideways. But last weekend with the Midget Mayhem was kind of a fun deal for everybody. And then after that is um oh, my dad's in here too. Mom and dad's in here, everybody. No acting up. Can't go into the can't go into Tony's pool tonight. Joe, what is up? Dank, make sure you sharpen that pencil, my man. Sharpen the pencil. Just kidding. Traxxas Joe, he's doing some trans refreshes tonight. Very nice. I am somewhat doing the same myself. I seems like I may be behind the eight ball on giving a slipper a try on the diffs. And my wife's here. All right, now we can all be crazy again. My wife's here. But yeah, so I think I have been kind of missing out as far as seems like everybody's running a slipper. So I don't know if that's an outdoor or an indoor thing, and because I don't remember seeing a lot of that on outdoor, but I could be totally wrong. So let's see. Stetler says Hollywood's coming over. Not sure where they're going yet. Cool. Mark, I'm assuming you've been around so much. I'm assuming you've been down to Slideways before. Josh, glad you got the reminder. Cool. Very cool. Cool. Everybody's starting to come in now. What's up, guys? So we're getting more and more getting our usual suspects, I'm assuming. So make sure you guys say what's up. Didn't get any questions this week, which kind of sucked, but is what it is. That's okay. Can't expect to get them every weekend. But so anything you guys want to talk about or anything like that, I'm all ears. We can talk about, go on discussion, whatever. Wow. Okay, Mark. Yeah, you'll have to go down and check out Slideways. It's a bad joint, man. That's a cool place. It's a cool place. Make sure you don't take your favorite body down there. Make sure you do not take your favorite body down there is the only advice I have. And then whatever you think your droop should be, put about 48 more millimeters into it, and you should be pretty quick. That was the first place I've actually showed speed in a while. I've had a pretty good run last time I was down there, so I'm bummed I'm going to miss it. Joe, will throw you in here. So Joe says he only runs his diff or his slipper on his midget. I'm assuming everything else is because of ball diff. So I'm assuming everything else is geared, Joe. That's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, so I think also we got some new views tonight. So a few things. There we go. I'm assuming this is relatively weird. Hopefully it's not too weird to show everybody everything. It's bass backwards for me. But and if it makes more sense, we can obviously switch things around. I'm not promising that it's good or bad. I just something I've been working on. This is my 24 assailant from GFRP, and I actually just switched, trying something a little different. Is I'm switching to the newer hubs. I'm switching to the 26 assault hubs, and just ended up getting I did end up ordering longer. I had to order longer camber links. So we'll see how that goes. And then obviously put in the assault dog bones as well. So gonna see how that goes. It probably, I think my next race will be PTs at their club race, like we just said. So Joe, it's funny that you bring that up because that's back to me. It's funny you bring that up because I think that I agree. And I hate to be the guy that goes against the grain as hard as I want to sometimes because I feel like everybody runs ball diffs and everything. But I feel like, and maybe it's just how I like to drive or something, but I feel like I feel like I want to try a gear diff more than I do. Maybe, maybe that's wrong, but I don't know that I disagree with you. Let's see what Ryan had to say. It helped get some of the wheelies out of the car. Feel like it makes the diff last a bit longer. That's more rotating mass too. I get that. Um, so like in Joe's case, Joe, you run a lot of 13.5 stuff. So I feel like to Ryan's point, like that rotating mass could be I don't want to say sizable issue, but I wonder I wonder what it would be like in the mod stuff as well. Yeah, I don't know that I disagree with you, Joe. I think you're on something, and I think I prefer that too. And the only reason I say that is I have which I know it's apples and oranges. Like I'm not even trying to compare. It's not even apples and oranges. It's apples and or it's tomatoes and bananas or whatever we want to call it. But I have a carpet two-wheel drive buggy, and again, I understand it's totally different, but I love the feel of that car. And you run a gear diff in your mod late model too. Because I personally, I feel like a gear diff would chill everything out. Just thinking about how everything's in there rotating and how everything's moving and shaking. Having a gear diff would definitely chill the car out as opposed to a ball diff, I would think. Again, I've never ran one in the oval stuff yet, but I definitely think that would be something worth looking into for sure. So maybe I should get one and build one. I know I don't have one just yet, but definitely might be something worth trying. But cool. Man, the attendance is not very good tonight for however long we're in. I don't even have it. Oh, it's about 15 minutes. 10 people. And we've getting soft. Getting soft here. Really. So you're saying a gear diff is snappier, Joe? So a gear diff is snap. Okay. Now that you say that, I understand. It's because you're so much more. You have so much more contact. I could say okay. So I was opposite. I was exact opposite actually. So a gear diff, you're going to be yeah. So because you're way more in the track, that makes sense. Yes. Okay. I had it backwards. Yeah. So then Josh says gear diff works good on high bite. I agree. So I know guys run gear diffs on high bite, but I was just thinking through that. It definitely wouldn't smoothen the car out because you have it's instant, like that gear mesh is right now. And the only thing slowing that, so your only slipper or your not even slipper, your only slowdown is the viscosity of what oil you put in. That makes sense. I think if I recall correctly, if I'm not crazy, which I am crazy, but I thought a couple guys tried gear diffs at during practice at the Rumble or the Prelude because that track got so gripped up, and I almost wonder, but I don't remember anybody saying how much I don't remember anybody saying they loved it. So what's up, Ben? Thanks for coming in, man. Let's see. So Ben says here, we'll throw him up there. Ben was on a gear diff. So you're saying, Ben, you're saying that a ball diff works better for you now, I'm assuming? So that makes sense. I think that's how we're reading that. So let's see. Joe says, if you tune it right, so I agree. So the DNF is a great point, Joe. And Ben said he switched over from a gear to a ball and he likes it better, works better for him. So Joe's saying it won't spin out if you do it right. It's fair. But I agree totally. Kevin, what's up, man? So Kevin's never ran a gear diff. I don't know. I feel like once you get around to like main time at since Kevin's in here, um Kevin and I run at Raw a lot, or we ran a lot at Raw this summer outside. And as much as that place chews tires, the problem with that would be the groove though. Like on an outdoor track like that, it grooved up so narrow that I don't know that a gear diff would be as effective because you have such a narrow lane to hit. That could be that could be interesting. I'm really interested to see. Cutting bodies in Gatlinburg. Nice. I'm assuming you and the missus are down there taking in all the sights and smells. Very cool. I'm jealous. I can't say that I'm jealous. Actually, I've never actually been to Gatlinburg, but I know you go all the time and you say it's awesome. So I believe it. But one thing that I'm mentally trying here is on my late model. Um, I switched my late model just now over to 26 assault hubs. And the thinking behind this is it should be a total of 6 millimeters wider track width, at least as far as dog bones are concerned. So I'm hoping it'll mellow the ass of the car out more. Is the thinking behind it, going from 68 to 71 millimeter dog bones. I'm just curious on what it's going to do, and obviously if it sucks and I don't get a chance to practice with it or whatever, or if I get a chance to practice with it and it sucks, I would switch back over. Josh asked Joe what oil he's using for his gear diffs, and that's what Joe had to say. He's running 60K in his mod, 35K in his 13.5, which obviously you want to lessen your rolling resistance in the 13.5, so that makes total sense. I'm there. I'm there with that. I'm in. I'm believing. I'm believing. May have to give one a shot. I think we might be on something there, especially for how I am the exact opposite, I feel like, of most people when it comes to driving. Like I am my most comfortable when I am like, and I'm sure this sounds stupid now, but like when I'm out for a Sunday night drive or Sunday afternoon drive, like I'm just when I shouldn't even say that, I guess. When I have a car where I can run consistency or be consistent, that's really what I feel like I've been searching for. And I feel like in a way, running a gear diff like that would be so much easier to have consistency. Because I think something else that you don't think about or that isn't as considered by some people is on that gear diff, everything being metal components inside. I feel like everything being metal on the inside, you wouldn't have as much fall off as you would a ball diff, right? Because you would have less heat built into that. A gear diff would generate less heat than a ball diff over the course of a run. Let's see. Stetler says when I mentioned a 3 millimeter outer pin last week, that was for 26 setup. I thought. No, I was not. So I have not ran these hubs yet, Mark. So we'll see. I don't know that I changed anything after you and I had talked. Um, again, trying to be more number one. So I know the last couple weeks we've talked, not me and you, Mark, but just as a on our live stream here. Um, I know I've done a lot of preaching about talking to people and asking people for help. And at the Rumble or the prelude to the Rumble, it got weird because everybody had to leave early and all that stuff. But like Chad Jones helped me out a ton, and I really focused on only talking to Chad, like when it came to making changes on the car. Um, and I feel like I made a lot of progress. Um, but also the more and more I'm realizing with everything is I drive like such a sissy personally. And I don't know if anybody else can get anything from this, but I feel like it's really easy to do, especially for like a newer guy coming in, is there's a really fine line, but and this is just again my opinion, but I think there is such a fine line between driving your race, and if you're slower, no problem, and then being a complete and utter like pushover. So like I know for a fact any issue, anything that I have, like I might as well just pull the car off. And my recovery right now, my recovery time is not very good. Like my mental recovery time is not very good at all. I know I struggle a ton, and then when getting lapped or being around other cars in general, especially on starts, I am just horrible at like I will run my car into the friggin' wall to get out of everybody's way just because I don't want to make anybody mad. And I can't remember who I was talking to. Might even have actually been my wife of all people about it. And it's like, you know, I'm getting out of everybody's way, ruining my race, right? Instead of, what would they do to you kind of thing. So I've got to not be such a sissy all the time. And that's what I'm going to work on. I think my cars are a lot better than I think I've been blaming my cars for a lot of my performance. And I think so much of it is actually just my driving. I think I put my cars in bad positions or am over driving my cars in ways that it's just not setting myself up for success. So I'm really working on that in these coming weeks for sure. But to get off my soapbox, one other thing, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way because everybody else was probably um, everybody else probably signed up like a good person on quickly and got in. But I really wanted to go run Chili Bowl this year, and we are what I mean. We're only a few weeks away from it at this point, and we haven't. We, as in Scotty and all those guys who are running it, haven't updated anything, haven't let anybody know, haven't moved around the list of wait list or anything. And there's still like 200 and something entries left, and there's not that many people on the wait list. But like a guy who has work and is trying to make arrangements and has to get a hotel or has to get somewhere to stay and all that. Like it's too late for a guy to like commit and not even be on the list anymore. I've never been. I don't know how it works, and that's fair enough. Like I get that, but I don't know if it's in the cards for me this year, and I'm just gonna have to be actually signed up and go, I guess, because it's super frustrating to like I've been getting more and more frustrated with it because I check every day and it's still like the same freaking like I don't feel like it's that hard to get everybody moved over, so I'm guaranteed to know what I'm doing. Um, so we'll see. Pretty frustrated with that. I don't know how everybody else feels or if it, everybody else I understand sign up on time and it's let's see. I get that, Kevin, but still I mean it's I've been on the wait list for like 2 months now. So or more. I feel like I signed up in the summer, I think. Again, not on time, not during the sign up, so it's totally on me. I'm not blaming anybody other than myself. I'm just simply saying it would be really nice to know that I'm in or not. Is all I'm saying. So, okay, I'm off on a soapbox now. I suck at driving. I'm trying to get better at that, and I'm trying to get into the Chili Bowl and don't know if I'm going. So that's the summary there. Ryan says, "Where the hell does oil go? Always half empty with no leaks." Right. And then Joe says sacrifice to the gods. So I can get behind that. Ryan says it's best answer he's ever been told. I would assume that it's the oil just breaks down, would be my assumption. Because I mean, obviously it's not I don't it's too viscous to evaporate. But yeah. So yeah, what do you guys want to talk about? Honestly I made fun of Dustin at the start of all this just to give him a hard time. But it doesn't sound like too bad of an idea to glue up a set of tires, honestly. I don't think that sounds like a bad idea at all. Because I definitely burnt off a few sets at the Prelude. That's for sure. So, not good. I feel like I have plenty of fronts. I don't know the last time I cycled out a set of fronts. Maybe that talks about my car setup. How bad my fronts or if my fronts aren't run very good. Cool. You go grab a rag. I'm gonna break one. Set everything over at the RC. We pull. So also another community discussion. There's still quite a few people in here. A community discussion that I am curious of because I have ran both and cannot honestly say I've ever felt a difference. What are guys doing? So I've seen all kind with and this is a hole punch for punching tires. Um, okay, Gary, thank you. That's a good point. I may do that. I haven't obviously, but I probably should. Um, so let me switch this down to this camera. So I have seen people like last or a couple weekends ago, for example, I seen guys that had holes in the center line of their tires. I've seen guys have holes, 2 holes in the sidewall, 3 holes in the sidewall. I'm not asking everybody to say what they do, but I would like to know what everybody's kind of mindset is behind it. I understand exactly what it's for. It's to let excess air out of the tire so the contact patch stays down. I get that. Or air, I'm not saying air, but it doesn't let the tire balloon up as much. I get that, but I'm authentically curious what people's mindsets are with that because I think it's super interesting. I've only ever tried on the inner sidewall, but I am curious to know, like, I need to do a set, probably not this set, but I'd like to know what it feels like, that what the car feels like to do a couple holes in the center, like opposing ends or something. I think that'd be super interesting. And then something else I haven't delved into yet is I know guys really change or really modify these foams as well. That's something else I've never done. I've seen guys where they cut out the middle groove. I've seen guys take the rib down all the way to the face here. So super curious on what everybody thinks there and kind of the mindset behind that, growing off of what Dustin had to say. Obviously, I actually didn't watch his entire video. I only seen that he was live, and then by the time I got back on Facebook, and by the time I got on Facebook, I was trying to get the live started, and I never even I didn't watch his whole live. So shame on me, but I didn't. So let's see, Justin, what's up, dude? Thanks for coming out. Okay, so this is what Justin Atkinson had to say. Right rear 2 on the inside, sidewall left rear 2 on the outside. Sidewall. Used to do center, but could tell no difference. Don't touch quasi foams. 10-4. 10-4. Don't touch quasi foams. You got it. Well, good, because I have it. Perfect. I have not touched a single foam at all. So that breeds the question, Justin. That breeds the question of don't touch quasis, but I know, to grow on Chili Bowl coming up, what are guys doing with sprinters? Because I could have this backwards, guys, but I know it's quasis for sprint car and sprinters for late model, or it's the other way around. So don't quote me on either one, but I know there's a difference. Joe, another place I differ. No holes in tires. Mini in the wheel. Interesting. So Joe says, interesting. So Joe says he puts holes in the wheel. And Joe, when you say mini holes, what does that mean? Are you doing you've got 15 holes, you've got a hole as much as the drill can go through? Interested to know your input. I like different, so I appreciate that, Joe. Jamie says, do you think foam changes when cleaning on a race day as they get wet through the holes? Jamie, I don't think so, especially if you have plenty of time for them to dry out. Obviously, you don't want to, like in your tire bucket, it's really important that you don't get water. You don't submerge your brush all the way, or if you have a tire washing machine, you don't want to submerge the tire. I do know that, and you definitely don't want to do that. So always, if you have a tire brush, or like a brush in a bucket, make sure that the water is not all the way to the top of the bristles. You want bristles showing, because you don't ever want to submerge these tires. I see guys do that a lot, and I know that's not good, and that is obviously a very ill handling car. So, Ryan, holes in the tread allow water to get in. Use modern cleaning equipment. I do mine at the sidewalls towards the infield, same as Justin. Cool. That makes total sense. That makes total sense. I'm with you, Ryan. Right rear. So we'll go back to Justin's one more time for everybody watching. So Justin Atkinson says you're going to do on the right rear, you're going to be on the inside. And then Ryan also confirms. You're going to be two on the inside and two on the outside of the left rear. And then Ryan did a great job of summarizing it, saying that it's going to go towards the infield. Sprinters are for mod sprint. Okay, cool, Kevin. Thank you. So although we're not touching quasis, our guys altering foams, or our guys altering the J Concepts foams. That would be another interesting topic, obviously. And I think, it seems like on the Sunday podcast, it seems like it's always the same conversation. If we're not talking about tires, he's talking about 13.5 and spec classes and all that. So maybe I don't want it to be a mute point, but maybe we should talk more about tires more than I do on here, because I do think it's pretty overlooked, kind of like the spring video. So would love to know. We got 10 people in here. Would love to know everybody's input on that spring video I did. I thought I tried to make it as entertaining and as knowledgeable as I could make it, and not make it boring, not a boring watch at least. So that's super interesting, Joe. So you're letting it, when you drill holes in the wheel, though, I don't know how much I don't know how much I buy into that. How is it getting past the foam? But I believe you. Gary says some do with punching holes in the foam, some cut foams talking J Concepts foams. So I'm assuming when you say cutting foams, everybody's altering these ribs. I would assume. I've seen some people, they like divot them. It's interesting. Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, to Justin's point right here, I mean, it's relatively endless, the possibilities that could come of everything. I mean, everybody's got a feel for sure. Everybody's got a feel for what they're looking for. So don't mind. Those are definitely on center. So everybody watching, these are 100% 90 degrees apart. There's nothing wrong with these. These are perfect. So everybody just admire perfect, and we're gonna act like nothing happened. We're gonna put an insert in here or foams in here, and we're gonna call them good. So everybody, don't anybody panic. Nobody get really mad and frustrated that you just look like a dweeb now. Everything's cool. All right. So for my lives, we're gonna have to call Cole Rhodes the author, because Cole's been a wealth of information, sending 4.5 books every time. So I get to be the author in Tony's live stream, and Cole can be the author here. And then the next conversation, guys, is I watch everybody, or almost everybody, put these things in a foam roller to break those foams in. So that's something I do not have. I need to get a tire foam break-in device, because I definitely do not have one. Okay, here we go. So here's Cole. Quasi foams are soft enough; they don't need to be altered. Sprinters, all kinds of things that can be done depending on what you want out of the foam and out of the tire. several YouTube videos out there on foam altering, drilling holes in the wheel, can add some flex to the rim and create grip. Me, I don't really put holes in the rubber of the tire unless I'm going to a big race, and I'll do some tires up. Most of the time I do mine on the inside of the tire on both left and right side. So that's how I've always known to do it, Cole. So I'm right there with you, is doing it on the inside. So good to know about the outside. That's interesting. I'm definitely going to try that with these sets. Ryan, Jake on foams are a science project for oval racing in different ways. So okay, interesting. Yeah, I feel like I mean, I'm not even close to having my arms wrapped around quasis yet, let alone introducing all this stuff. So cool. Gary does it just like Justin and Ryan do. So awesome. Am I ugly mug? There we go. Got camera shy, I think. That's why my holes are off center. Okay, so let's grab shoulders boost. I need a Sharpie. I need a Sharpie. I just found the speed secret, fellas. We're gonna do all of our internal holes now off center. That's gonna be the ticket. That's the speed secret. So facing the infield. So this is right here. Cool. Another interesting tidbit that could be a good conversation too. How do you guys, like for me? I only mark. Obviously, we know this is a rear and fronts or not, but I just mark my stuff right and left. Do you guys track runs? Do you guys put all kinds of information in your tires? Know how many times they've been on the racetrack? I've thought about doing that. That feels like a lot to keep up with, but all of this is a lot to keep up with. So I understand. Be really interested to know what guys do. Interesting. So Joe liked the quasis on midgets. That's badass. Awesome. My wife brought me Jimmy John's as well, like while I was starting the stream. So I can't take the smell anymore. It's so freaking unbelievably good. So I felt like, I'm sorry. I don't like it when people eat either, but it's too good to not eat. Sorry. I never bite. All sets are numbered and dated, Justin says. Okay. So when you number and date, Justin, when you number and date, are you keeping like do you have like a spreadsheet? I've noticed myself for my program, I have a ton of spreadsheets all of a sudden, it seems like. So are you documenting in like a spreadsheet or something what number each, because you're basically serializing your tire at that point. So run the quasis. Ryan says run the quasis until the foams are super soft. Then he prefers to sand them square. Donate them to 13.5 guys. Cool. Nice. That's badass, Ryan. You're a good dude. I don't care what Justin says about you. I don't care what Justin says about you. You're a good dude, Ryan. Cole, I did not mean to put that on the screen. Can't read. Cole Rhodes, if I'm doing something different, such as prep, foam altering, gluing, I'll mark in a way that I'll remember what he's done. Okay. Cool. So this is how Gary does them, everybody. So that's kind of how Gary Marks is. That's cool. I like that. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm taking everybody's ideas and I'm doing that. So I remember when I was in off road, the wheels were different in such a way where you could actually mark in there. And I always like marking on the backside of the, like in between the ribs. So I feel like I didn't wash them out as bad. Wolf 10 set number one. There we go. First one I've ever marked. Usually the high number taller the pin. Then Ryan resets back to one. Okay. Usually the high number is the taller pins. Okay, that's fair. So you're saying once you kind of cycle all your tires and you're back to new, you go back to one. So okay, that makes sense. I'm with you on that. Let's see if I can screw this up any worse than I did last time. I'll do it on camera, really screw myself up here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That feels tall. Here we go. I remember when I first got started with all this and I seen how guys were doing tires, I would get so like paranoid, not on oval, but when I raced off road, I remember being so paranoid about things that I would just buy pre-mounts. Definitely not the right way of doing it, I'm sure. I don't mean to brag, fellas. That's better. Here we go. Another thing that I've not always, but I've heard of people doing, and I don't know if this is totally psychotic or not, but I've also heard guys gluing. I've heard of guys gluing the foams to the wheel. What's everybody think about that? Is that totally psychotic? Is that a psychosis moment? Be really interested to know that. What everybody thinks about that. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate everybody in here. Two people's out as soon as I say that. Cool, 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 cool. I promise, though, guys, as I learn and grow, we're going to make sure the channel learns and grows as well. And everybody, I will be less dependent on gathering information from people as longer we go. So let's see. Ryan says part of the reason I do the vent holes the way that I do is because I know which corner of the car I've had them on and where I want them. So you're saying you're saying that's like a basically a security deposit, Ryan, against like if you wash your Sharpie mark off of if you wash your Sharpie mark off of the tire or tape the foams like okay, so you're saying like double-sided tape them, Cole? You can get behind that. Stetler. I glued foams on the wheel raw when it was high bite. Car was more yeah, I could see that. Because then you're really stopping that grow, right? You're really stopping the grow of the tire. So I'm with you there. That I'm interested to try this because I don't know if that has overall anything. I can't imagine that has much to do with the sidewall or like any sidewall flex or anything. because it would lay, if this is a left rear, it would lay over like that. So interesting. No, that's cool. I like it when things are different. Cole says use carpet tape. Okay, cool. I'll try both. I feel like gluing it. Obviously, your the carpet tape. I guess you have a somewhat of a chance of redoing it, but or somewhat of a chance of no, you don't because when you glue a tire. But um, yeah, I think I would glue personally, but that's an idea as well as to try that. So I'm with you. Yeah, that's fair, Ryan. So yeah, Ryan's saying it's even more than just Sharpie marks. He's saying when we're in a hurry and everybody's trying to change everything and throw things around. I get that. I'm with you on that for sure. Until this live stream, I never would have put that together. I 100% wouldn't have put that together, but it completely makes sense now. I can say I'm going to get real bad. I'm going to have a freaking industrial label maker. Something crazy going on here. You know, I can't stand my writing sometimes. Cool. Like for example, I know I have some sets now. Anytime, basically, I need a few bucks to. Ooh, yikes! Well, this tells you where my program is right now. In one container, I had two fronts that are a match set, and then I managed to figure out a way, stupidity, to have two right rears, one of them with holes, one of them without. So there's no wonder I can't get around the friggin' racetrack. That there's no wonder. I don't think I would have ever done this because I do look every time I go to put wheels on. I absolutely do check that. So I don't think I'm that stupid, but I'm getting there pretty quick, I think. Yeah, Ryan. I don't know that I've ever even been to a race where everybody's there with you guys. So I understand. I don't think I appreciate how big it is um just yet. So I'm not in the club yet. I'd like to be someday. Hopefully I can get fast enough someday to be in the club with you guys. That would be cool. Yeah, I feel like Duratrax days was like peak RC. My first ever car actually was a Duratrax two-wheel drive, I believe. Outside of when I was growing up, me and my dad would race. My dad and I raced HPI like Savage truck monster trucks when kind of monster trucks were big in off road. But yeah, my first electric buggy was a Duratrax two-wheel drive. Cool. Hopefully, all my other sets aren't as debauchered as this. This was a ground set that I was trying to play with some grinding and things on. I don't know. I obviously Cole. I know who Rick Salter. I know who Salter is, but I don't. Number one, I had no idea that he raced RC cars. And number two, I think anybody with Ryan and those guys are likely a good funny pairing for sure. Oh lordy! Only reason I know Salter's name is from obviously the big car stuff. So give these beads a thorough wipe down. Get the Wu Tang flu off of them. Cool. Epic battles of craziness, Ryan said. That sounds too good to be true. But cool. Not that anybody cares how I glue tires, but as soon as I start doing this, I'll screw something up probably. Never had one pop off at least, so that's positive, right? I say that, and I'll have all four tires will friggin' pop off. I have been out in the shop before like this and popped the glue nozzle off. That was pretty fun. Then glopped glue at a high velocity everywhere. I do feel like the brake clean really helps. And then what I like to do is I put a pretty aggressive bead that keeps coming out and go all the way around. And then I quit pouring the coals to it and let the needle do the rest of the work. And you get a pretty old decent finish there. Yeah, I know. Cole. Arguably, I haven't, especially since RC cars, I haven't done a very good job of, especially when I started racing in the summertime. I haven't done a very good job of um, getting the big car stuff. I don't know why. Even I don't even have a good reason why. Let's see. Ryan says for people that don't know, we ran them 3 or 4. A winner at Sideways. It's more of an exhibition. We would just crank the motors to the moon and fly around the top. We didn't take it super seriously. Just wanted to smack talk everything. That's awesome. I mean, that's the funnest way of doing anything, right? I mean, I that is 100% the funnest way to do it. And you guys are talking about Midwest Mod there. So anybody reading Ryan's comment, they're talking about Midwest Mod. I know that video I took of Justin when he was ripping uh, his his Midwest Mod. Um, Number one, that got some really good views, but number two, uh, that class just seems like so much fun. I think at some point I'd like to convert or not convert, but that would be the 3 classes I would like to go to the racetrack with. But in the same breath, I also don't know. 3 feels like a lot. Like even with my Losi, I don't have my Losi anymore now. But with my Losi, I um like my Losi even felt like it was a lot at the racetrack. 3 classes, it was a lot to keep up with. Now, getting started like I am right now too, it was it probably felt like more of a lot than what it really was. Um, but it was stressful. But I say that because I feel like I'm always having some issues with something and I'm always chasing something to make something better or having to take the car apart or work on something. So that could very well be it too. Pasley, what's up, man? I'm bummed out. I'm not going to get to see you guys this weekend. I would love to, but I'll have to catch you on the next one. My next race, I'm assuming, will be PTs, and then I think right after PTs is the Rumble, and then right after that is again. I don't know that I'm going to Chili Bowl. I At this point I would doubt I'm going to Chili Bowl. Ryan says and he's got his Midwest mod ready to rip for the weekend. Or Justin says, I'm sorry. Justin, you gonna be late again? Stupid work. That's awesome, Ryan. I mean, they are really cool cars too. No more being late, Justin says. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. This is actually my first time using that tire punch too, so that's worked out nice. Only time I've ever had other tires, they've been pre-mounts. Beautiful. Any topics you guys want to cover or anything? Um, Justin, Ryan, anybody in here? Joe, Pasley, any of you guys that thinks Cole? That what can we talk about that people can go back and watch here a little bit later and really get some help on? I can kind of start the conversation and you guys can really guide her home, I think. In an attempt, I will say before you guys, hopefully you guys will type something that we can talk about a little more. But in an attempt to make my car a little bit lazier, because I feel like everything's on edge all the time, I have spread out my camber links front and rear on both cars as far as I can get them. Just trying to get that track width out best I can. So, oh lordy, I'm glad there's no more being late, Justin. I can tell that was feels like I know how I operate. That would be relatively stressful. So I'm glad that you aren't going to be. That's cool. We've been really awesome about saying we've stayed right at about 9 people the whole time, and it's fluctuated up and down. I think I've seen 16 or something at most. So I'll have to look back through the analytics and see if I can see like peak and trying to tailor that back to what we were talking about. See if that has any correlation. And also, guys, I'm super interested in feedback too. So if any of you guys have feedback on anything, how I can make this better, if you don't want to talk about it on the live stream, I'm more than happy to take a message or whatever on our Facebook page and all that. I just want to keep making this better. So I want to provide as much value as I can. Kevin, you smart ass. You lead the class, Kevin. You go ahead. I'll invite you in right now. Would you like to come in and um, would you like to come in and tell the class? I can send you an invite link right now. Fire your phone up and you can come on in. Cole asks, is both my cars too reactive? Um, I wouldn't say too reactive. They're too like no, they're not too reactive at all. They are too edgy corner exit, which if I was a betting man, I think it's all settings in my controller. I really think that. Um, Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I'm leaning more and more into um, I think my loose off is way more of need to do better controller settings to get to calm the car down while ramping in throttle. Um, I think is more of the issue than anything there. I think it's way more of that than my cars at this point. Um, Man, I got coolant in my hair today, and it looks like I'm a freaking grease ball. But anyway, I think it's way. I think I have way more controller setting issues than I do car issues because the cars are really good and then they're not all of a sudden, and I don't think that's the car. Um, I really think it's me. So I'm trying to, and I think I've been blaming the car for a lot when it really hasn't been. No, I'm not. I don't think I've been blaming the car, but um, I think I've been searching for more in the car, and the cars are actually pretty close, a lot closer than I'm giving them credit for. So that is, I'm just trying to tame. I think I got to tame myself, which is super weird because I don't. The last time I raced, which obviously was a couple years ago now, but I don't remember. Like I've never had the issues that I have now, so I don't know. I don't know what's changed. Um, I've never been the spinny out guy. I've never been the spin out guy, so I don't know. I don't know. But I think after a little or a lot of self reflection, I think it's more in the controller than it is anything else. And I don't know if that's playing around in the ESC. I don't know if that's taking dual rate out of the throttle. Um, in my mind, it would be dual rate out of the throttle would help a ton. And I'm embarrassed to say the last race that I was at, which was the Prelude, is when I figured out half the time. This is I'm ignorance, absolute ignorance. But I don't, and it's the new controller. I have this new I have the Airtronic. I've always ran through Tava stuff, and for some reason, half the time I would adjust endpoints for throttle, like when I wanted to tune the car down, and then half the other time I was dicking with dual rate, and then couldn't figure out why the car was different every time out on the racetrack. So it was stupidity all the way around, and I'm dumb. Um, but that's been the big thing. So, let's see, catch up on some comments. Kevin's reception ucks. You're in the mountains of Tennessee, so I would assume. Stetler, radio and ESC settings would be great for future topics. When you get a larger following of new guys, dual rate and ESC softening. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're 100% right, Mark. I think that's where I'm at. Like, I don't. These cars are close. My sprint car is freaking really good most of the time. My sprint car was dialed in at um at that Prelude race, and I got ahead of my skis on. I got over my skis on the car tipping and traction rolling. So I didn't catch up and stay with that. So um, that was the big thing for me. And if I would have stayed up with the car and been better in a traction rolling situation, I had a really, really good car. So that was my deal. Uh, so Cole, what do I normally run my dual rate at on my remote? Are you asking throttle or steering? And if both, right off the top of my head, here lately the track's been so hooked up. I've been at 100. I live between like 88 and 100. So let's just say 90 to 95 on throttle. And steering, I've had it as low as on late model. I've had it as low as 50 something, and I think I live about 60 now on my late model. And on my sprint car, I've been as high as 100, and I think I've got it down to like in the 70s or 80s now. So, yeah, Kevin, you definitely sent me some deals, and that's for sure. I don't have a like an M12 is not a bad remote or a bad transmitter or bad whatever you want to call it, but it's not bad. I like the Airtronics stuff. I really do. Um, I really like my Futaba stuff though as well. The Futaba stuff gets weird sometimes. I don't know. I got my M12 out of a cabinet at Hoosier Hobbyplex for like I think it was $250. So with two receivers, if I'm not mistaken. So I can't beat that, and it's a perfectly fine remote. I would think. I would love to have an M17S. I don't. Maybe I should go get one. I don't know. Um, we'll see. I don't think it's. I think it's the settings in the remote, not the remote. Gary, I use Hobbywing Gen 3s on both of my cars. I have the adjuster and everything. So yeah, Kevin. Yeah, yeah. Over my tires, over my skis. I'm over the whole program. Servo speed adjustments. Ryan says. Cool. So when you say that, Ryan, where would you do that at? Would that be an ESC setting or would that be in the transmitter? Cole says never do dual rate for throttle. There's something else wrong. The thing that's wrong most likely is the path that it takes from my brain to my finger is statistically speaking probably the issue, Cole. But um, my mindset behind dual rate on the throttle was I was thinking it would get me there. It would make the ramp slower getting back on throttle, and I thought that would help me. Um, but that's probably the wrong way of thinking. I know that you can get in there and change like deltas and your map. You can map everything and change all that. So that very well could be the change too. When I get to where I'm racing more, I don't like being off for 2 straight weeks. That's been not fun. But I actually may get my 2-wheel drive carpet car out and go to Jammers tomorrow. We'll have to see. Depends how work goes. I'm freaking ass over tea kettle at work right now. I'm slammed. So I don't know. Probably not. But that's good to know, Cole. I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I don't disagree with that. I've never heard of people tuning with dual rate. Again, something I was trying to think about. And just like changing too much on the car, there's been times I've changed way too much in my controller going out there too, overthinking it. So got to get back to simpler times. I think that's the big thing. Big thing for me. So Kevin, you said you were looking for M12 or M17. Yeah, no, I mean M17s are good. I just the M17S is the latest jam. So um, the reason I'm hesitant, Kevin, and anybody else actually, is upon further review of getting like if you're going from an M12 like I have to go to an M17, for example, if you're strictly electronics, this FH4. So I have RX 482 receivers in both my cars. Let me make sure I'm not lying to anybody. Yeah, RX 482s, and I have a spare RX 482. Well, when you look into this FH4T type of transmitter, which that's the gigahertz, like the signal of everything, from what I'm seeing, you have to have not have to, but I've seen where people are having issues with the FH4s because the 17s go to an FH5 from what I'm understanding and doing research on. So I've been leery about that because I really don't want to get a nearly $800 transmitter with speaking of the S and then have to get a $130 receiver at least, and probably a third for a spare. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think I have a lot more issues than I think I have a lot more problems than what I'm dealing with right now. So I don't think it's I don't think I need a new transmitter yet. Maybe I do. I don't think so. Ryan, I was missing some of Ryan's stuff. I missed Cole too. Cole said, "How do you set your endpoints? How do you set your endpoints on steering?" Okay, so hopefully I'm not wrong because this may help people as well. What I do though is when I turn my transmitter on, I turn the car on, transmitter on first, then the car on, and I go when I'm first building the car, I go to full lock one direction, and then I actually the watch the steering link arm on the hub. Try to get this in here where everybody can see, and I watch where that arm hits on the hub, and then I back it off one click past touching so that it doesn't sit there and lock out. And then I go to the other direction and I back off the endpoint in the other direction just until it doesn't touch. And that's how I set endpoints. And I can touch on that more if anybody wants me to go deeper on that. And if I'm wrong, somebody correct me so that we're not teaching other people how to do it wrong. I'm more concerned with that than me doing it wrong. Ryan's talking about servo, slowing down the servo, doing your transmitter. He's getting old. Yeah, Ryan, you're an old man, that's for sure. No doubt about it. Just kidding. I'm getting old and don't want it super fast. The kids like it quicker than I do. I like my margin. That's fair. So that would be like if you're slowing it down, you're just starting your turn sooner in the backstretch, I would assume, or the mental thinking of that, you're starting the turn quicker so that the steering has more time to go. Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. So you're talking about the throw and you're talking about the total throw in the transmitter. Okay, that makes sense. I'm with you there. Yeah, I personally like more throw myself. I also have big giant ass hands, so let's see. Cole, that's always thought on RC cars with the throttle. But if you're asking me, just like the big cars, if you have that throttle a quarter of the way down, you want to know the throttle's a quarter of the throttle. Fair enough. I'm with you there. And my thinking, Cole, on that, on the especially the dual rate, mine is just not position of throttle, because when I think of that, I think of endpoint, right? So I think of like if I'm pulling the throttle all the way and I'm at 90%, then full throttle is 90%, not 100% of throttle. That's my thinking of what you're saying there. My thought for endpoint is, or for dual rate is, I want to slow the ramp in which the speed of the throttle picks up in the car. And I know there's ways to do that in the ESC as well. I just didn't want to do something really stupid in the ESC and then be totally screwed for the race. So I always try to do stuff in the transmitter because I could go out and bust a couple laps. And if I sucked, then I could at least take it back out. Where in the ESC, I couldn't until I got back to my pit. So just my skewed thinking, I could be wrong. So Gary says this might be good for everybody. Gary says, check out Charlie Hobby Wing on YouTube on settings. So everybody go check. I'm going to do that myself, Gary. So thank you for that. I'll check out some of that, some of his work, and that should help a bunch. Kevin, I'm assuming talking about the one up stuff. I'm assuming, don't quote me on that. I don't know if you run other ones, but I think the one ups are a little bit cheaper. I personally, and I'm sure you've had no issues at all. I've just personally heard horror stories about the one up stuff. The one up, I'm sorry, I haven't heard horror stories about much of one up. So I know one up does good stuff. I've heard that uh, that's a pretty solid way of doing endpoints. So that's not your problem. Yeah. And I will say though, Cole, like I feel like I've had some goofy endpoints at times. Like they're super duper low, like ignorantly low at times. Um, and another thing, I like the smoothness of these ProTech receivers. So in both cars, I try to have everything the same between all my cars just for my own stupidity. But I have the ProTech 160T um, servo. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I had something decent, or maybe I'm just better at raw, whatever the case is. But I had the quasi speed. The quasi speed one is my backup right now. And I feel I don't know. I'd like to have a test day where I could go and test all friggin' day and try all kinds of goofy stuff. I don't know that I don't. I think I may like the quad. I felt more consistent with the quasi speed stuff, which is weird. And I'm not saying quasi's a great servo. I know there's a lot of fast guys, a lot of guys in general that have them, and I know they're good. Just the Protect stuff is so damn smooth, and I just liked it, so that's why I went with it. I actually built my two wheel drive buggy before I had either one of these cars. I built a two wheel drive carpet car, or a high bike carpet car, and that's the receiver I got, or that's the servo I got for it. So that's the only reason. But I also wonder, like, if I don't know the full understanding on Expo. So I think Expo is that ramp. So I wonder, and I've never played with Expo in all my RC racing. I've never messed with Expo. So that could be something to change too. Because I know you can look at graphs and stuff on the transmitter. Um, so that may be worth looking into as well. I don't know. Big thing. And Cole said this last week. A lot of guys said this last week. I got to get to. I changed one thing, not three things, not two. I changed one thing, test it, pull it off the track. I like that. Document it. I hate that. Document it, put it back, or keep going and do that. But I think I got my cars to a half-assed basic level now, to where I can go and try to start just play with transmitter for a while. Uh, shoot, get caught up there, buddy. So okay, Cole said that's a good way of setting your endpoints. So if anybody needs to know how to do their endpoints, that's a good way of doing it. That's how I was always taught. I don't know who taught me. Uh, Gary. Okay, Gary just said what I was just saying. Okay, so interesting. Try that Expo. So I agree, Gary. I think that's a good place to look as well. Ryan, I set my steering wheel exactly like you do. Then I start driving the car, and I like to trim the car to the right. Then I go back and retract the travel. So that, Ryan, great point. I don't do that. You just caught me there. All right. We just caught me. I do not do that. When I redo the cars or anything like that, anytime I take the arm off the servo or anything, the steering arm out of the car, I always set, or build a new car, I always set my endpoints first, and then I'll put the car on the pavement or on the concrete here, and I'll drive it away from me, and I'll trim it until it goes straight, relatively straight. I leave a little bit of left kick into it, very little though. It's basically going straight. But then I never go back and check endpoints, and that's why I've been screwed up. You're 100% correct. Yes, I have been an idiot in more ways than one, but that is definitely something I don't do. So killer catch, killer catch. Stellar shortening steering spindle mounts, short steering spindle mounts on Sprint. Speed up the steering versus the carbon extenders on the late model. Takes less throw to throw the steering out. Takes less throw to max out steering. Okay. Servo arm height matters also. So what I always try to do, Mark, on the servo steering height, I always just try to make sure everything's level, and I do that on both cars. Um, One thing, I either need to get a way shorter turnbuckle. This one can be turned down or turned in more. Obviously, my late model's cranked all the way shut. But so I don't know how you guys feel about. Do you guys feel like when you start, that arm should be straight up and down, or do you think as long as this? Because I guess when I'm going full, you shouldn't ever be going full right, I guess. But when I go full left, the car is even more. The arm is straight, right? So that's the way I've always trimmed everything and made everything where it's the best I can make it. Is I always make sure that it's straight. And that's the way I've went about it. So okay. So Cole just said the Protect servos that I'm running. So that could be a major thing too, Cole. That could be 100% major thing that I'm stepping over. Um, so maybe slowing those down will be slowing them down will be a major win for me. We'll have to see. I think we definitely got a good direction to go for sure. Okay, so Justin says he's not a fan of trimming the car straight. So do you like the car? So I now that you say that, Justin, I guess like standing down looking at the back stretch at slideways. I guess I've seen guys. It seems like they're always kind of cranked to the right. So is your natural steering where the car is going to go left real hard? And obviously that would induce turning when you let off the throttle. It'll turn better for you. And then obviously on throttle even it would turn better. Ryan, yeah, no, I Ryan says I learned by failing or someone called me an idiot. So nobody's really called me an idiot, Ryan, but I call myself an idiot plenty. So I understand totally. I'm with you there. I've been this is one of the most humbling experiences I've done in a long time. I feel like I was pretty fast the last time I was in the hobby, and then I really sucked. Now I really suck. I feel like so. I had a lot of speed last time, and then when Alex and I raced a lot together, and now I'm not. I don't have a lot of confidence. Jojo, what's up, dude? There's one of the freaking fastest guys around. Jojo's the man. You going down to Slideways this weekend, Jojo? I know that's kind of a haul for you, though. Probably you guys are up north. I think that might be quite the haul. Probably a high bite weekend for you if I was a betting man. Okay, and then Justin said it turns left without wheel input. Okay, so like I said, mine ducks in left a little bit, but it's not probably anything what you guys run. So I'll look into that too, leaving a little bit more left in it. So when you're going down the backstretch, you're really cranking a lot of right turn into it just to get the car to keep straight. Now that you say that too, I think I do. I remember that being that way when you let me run your car when my car got banjo kazooied at Slideways that one day. But I don't remember it being crazy aggressively cranking like that. So maybe I was so garfunkled at that point anyway. It doesn't really matter. Oh, Joe. Mine is trimmed to the right only because my hand doesn't work correctly. It helps me feel the wheel pulling it left. So Joe's is trimmed to the right. Gotcha. That's interesting. That's cool. That helps me. Yeah. I mean, whatever help. I mean, that's what I'm searching for too. I just want to be comfortable. So whatever helps me achieve that, I'm all for it. Jojo thinking about it, 3 hour drive might just take a weekend off or go to Limestone. I get it. I won't get a chance to go. So, but also if you have Limestone right there, I mean, that's a hard sell. And hopefully Pasley and Cole's not in here too. And I'm not talking bad about anybody or anything, Jojo, to talk about. I don't know for what's coming up, you being an incredibly fast guy with all these other guys. I mean, but before I say that, wheel time is wheel time. Sorry, but Slideways is just so different. Other than going and having fun, I don't know. I don't know that Slideways is like progressing the program. I guess is what I'm saying because it's so Slideways. And Pasley or Cole, if you guys are in, please don't take. I'm not. I love Slideways. I wish it was my friggin' home track, truly. Um, but it is. I think you guys would agree. It's its own beast. More rear steer makes it worse. Okay, yeah, because then the car's tracking, Justin. So I get that. Interesting. Yeah, I'll put a little bit more left into it than I normally do, and Ryan really helped me. Ryan really hit the nail on the head there. That's something that I've been totally screwing up and missing out on is I've been totally screwing that up. Is I set endpoints, then trim it, and then don't mess with endpoints again. But great point, Justin. So Jojo, don't listen to me because Slideways is so awesome and all the people are so great down there. So don't listen to me because yeah, exactly to Justin's point, you can break in tires and everything else. So don't listen to me. I'm just an idiot. I'm an idiot who let his glue tip seal over. Is what I am. Yeah. No, she's her own beast, right, Pasley? But damn, is she fun? I tell everybody I can about. I tell everybody I can about Slideways. Such a great place. I hear you. I probably just need to email. I think Gary had a good point. I probably just need to email Scotty, but and maybe I'm the only one thinking like this, but I just feel like that is so ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot going on. People have a lot of busy lives and stuff, and I feel like if you sign up on a wait list, I feel like there could be a weekly update, on, and I feel like there's just nothing. There's nothing around that chili bowl. It feels like it's the weirdest thing for it being the Super Bowl of what oval track is. It's just I don't know. Maybe I'm totally missing something. I don't know. I'm not gonna get on a rant. Uh, but I'm gonna be mega behind the eight ball if that's the case because I'd really like to go. I really want to go to Chili Bowl. Let's see, Cole. You definitely won't see the high banking, that's for sure. Or ripping the top. I've watched enough videos to know for sure. Ryan says that's why we have these podcasts. Yeah, no, I mean I am so completely willing to be the guy who looks like an idiot on the internet to number one make my program better, but even more importantly than that, like every time I log in or every time I post or do any of this, it is with 100% genuine. If this helps one person, no matter how long this took, no matter how long I had to was involved with any of this, as far as making the video or making the content or whatever, or doing the live stream, if this helps one person, then me doing this or me looking like an idiot or me asking a stupid question or whatever is worth it. And that's how I wholeheartedly and genuinely look at all of this is if it can help one person enjoy our hobby more, have more success, have that happiness of success, or feel better when they're at the racetrack or feel more comfortable, confident. That's what I'm about. And that's why I'm trying to come with all this. That's what Scale Labs is going back to the lab and trying to make things better every week. So that's how I look at it, right, wrong, or indifferent. So all right, I think we're gonna have to give up on this tip. Yep, that tip shot. I'll try to get some stuff out of there, but I don't think it's looking too good. How long have we been doing? An hour and a half. 9:30 already. I'm gonna get these tires glued and probably call it a night, fellas. So a little bit more time for sure. Gary, you're far from slow. I would say that for sure. But no, it's all this is about having fun. And like so many people tell me, like, "Oh, you're just doing this for fun, or you're doing this for fun." Remember that, and I agree. That's great. Fun's great. I love having fun, but it is a oh shit. it is a hell of a lot more fun when you're running good. And I'm not saying running good is in winning, but if you go out there and like I so much would enjoy going out there and getting my ass kicked with a perfect car. And I drove the piss out of that thing and I'm 12th in a Q main. Great. But right now I suck and I feel like I have no connection to my cars. So and I can't fathom I'm the only person on earth that feels that way. So I'm trying to be the voice of that person so that those people can get the help they need to. And I'm happy to be the guy that looks like a fool to so here. Kevin's lucky. He's got a built-in tire gluer, and all he's got to do is take her to Gatlinburg every once in a while, and he gets his tires. I don't know if he's still in here. I enjoy gluing tires myself. I'm sure it gets, it's like everybody else. It gets old for me too, but cool. Got a little didn't seat that one perfect, but is what it is. But yeah, anybody got any questions or anything they want to bring up or any topics we want to talk about? Can be anything. Doesn't have to be, anything we've talked about tonight or anything you guys want to see on the show or on the stream rather to try to help make things better, try to show people things that I miss or that I'm doing wrong that I'm an open book trying to listen and again all of this is to make our hobby better and better our hobby is the more it'll grow is the way I look at it. So maybe that's just me, but I don't think so. Any ideas on how we can grow this thing? That's another great question. Anything you guys think I can do better or differently or a different platform or the way things get handled or any ideas on how we can reach more people? Each one of these streams gets approximately the last few. I mean, they typically get over 1,000 unique views. But anybody who has any feedback thinks I can do something better or need to change how I do something or anything like that, please. Nobody's ever going to hurt my feelings. Um, trying to make things better. So, Cole, I love these podcasts, especially for serious nervers. There's 1,000 different ways to do anything in these cars. I can't handle. Paisley or Gary or Ryan. So my cars. Hold on. There's 1,000 different ways to do everything with these cars. I can't hand Pasley. Okay, I can't hand. Sorry, can't hand Pasley or Gary or Ryan my cars, and then enjoy driving them. So for CR7, I have to be versatile and how. Cool. No, I appreciate that, Ryan or Cole. I appreciate that. Throw that up here. So Cool. No, man, I appreciate you. You've always I've been in and around a couple times. It feels like with around sideways and stuff, and I enjoy you guys every time. So happy to do this, and I enjoy doing this just as much as you know, just as much as hopefully you guys like watching it. So hopefully, you guys look forward to Wednesday nights, and when they wake up on Wednesday, I really like the idea of people saying, "Hey, we got Wrenchin Wednesday tonight." So, oh, Joe, one thing I feel isn't talked about enough is using wheelbase as a tuning option. Using wheelbase. So, are you talking? Yeah, I can get behind that. So you're saying spreading everything out. So what Joe's saying for any of those watching is Joe is saying from center line of this axle to center line of this axle and spreading it in and out to adjust to making it to tuning it. So obviously, the longer the wheelbase, the lazier the car is. The shorter the wheelbase, the more on edge and aggressive the car is. Just as a natural progression of these things. The longer the wheelbase, think like Cadillac and things like that, and then you have sports cars that are super narrow and cool. I think that'll be super cool, Ryan. I'm excited for those. Um, and I think I said that last week, but I'll say it again for anybody who maybe wasn't here last week or whatever. I did talk with both Tom at PTs and Brad at BB Mods, and Scale Labs will be. Although those guys are going to have their own production or videos as well. I'm going to really focus in on making sure we have really good content there. And both of those guys have been very kind in allowing me to come and have agreed to allow me to come both film and then document. So I'll document basically and film each station. Maybe I'll be live that day from each station for all those who can't be there. But maybe it'll also just be individual videos. But the way that I plan on doing it is each video or each station will be its own video. So that way you can go in and you can go on our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see each each video individually instead of having to, or I'll do it in one big video and then I don't know how much you guys are on YouTube, but you can break up the video into segments. So maybe I'll do a poll on that and get everybody's opinion on what they think would be best there. But definitely going to try to either do multiple videos or one longer video where each segment is broken up into that way you can click on the video and then find it in the timeline and click on what section while you're working on your car, whatever you're working on that particular night. So man, I'm having some issues with these tips tonight. I don't feel like I've ever had any issues with these things before. Now I feel like all of a sudden I can't get them cleaned out proper, like at all. Huh. Oh well. Yeah, I'm hoping. I hope you're right, Ryan. I'm with you on that. I hope that these things will blow up, and we'll get even more and more. And I'm pushing myself also. I'm pushing myself to keep getting better and better. Something else that I was thinking about on like a personal note for me the other night is, or the other day, whatever. Because I mean, I have all this stuff in here all the time while I'm working. I mean, this is my job, right? So my bench is right over across the shop there, so I'm always looking at stuff all day long. And one of the things like I got to stop being so reliant on everybody else's opinions. Just like on the racetrack, I got to not worry about everybody's opinion. I'm never going to be the guy that goes out there and runs over people, but I also can't be the guy that lays over so aggressively that my race is over before it really even gets started. So, um, but no, I think it's super important to, like, I want to keep getting better. And just like kind of how Joe's done tonight, yeah, maybe he does things a little bit differently, but he does them the way Joe does them. And that's how I want to do it. I think I will always tend to lean more towards the mainstream like way of doing things, just because that's, you know, I don't know, because I guess I also do kind of weird stuff sometimes too. But um maybe a medium between somebody who does everything kind of the same, and then, totally off the wall, kind of how Joe likes to do things. And um but I need to start doing it for myself more. I don't think I haven't had much originality, put it that way. I haven't had much originality since I've started getting back into RC, um, here since this summer. I had a lot of originality, I feel like, when I was doing low-C stuff, and I enjoyed the low-C stuff, but, I think I really gotta focus in on the mod stuff, making sure that I'm, being original there too, and having my own thoughts and not being so reliant on everybody, and, ask people for help when needed, but also I need to be way more comfortable, um, thinking for myself. So, and I think there's a lot of people that could probably get that way. I think it's so easy to, there's so many people around all the time that it's really, really easy to get into well, I'll just go ask X, or I'll just go ask Y, or I'll go ask him or her or whatever. And I don't know that that's the best thing. I think it's knowing when to ask for help is important, but I think it's also very important to, um, be your own person, for sure. And I'm very guilty of, I have not done that. So I appreciate everybody's help very, very much. But I have definitely been very, very guilty of not being an incredibly original thinker up to this point. Because I think anytime I have any issue, I kind of go crying back to whoever will help. And I think that's just, can't be doing that. You gotta think for yourself. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think we've been on here almost 2 hours, and right, yeah, and I think it's good to call it a night. We're pretty close to a night. I think we've got some great places to learn and improve. Um, think I'm going to be diving a lot into the controller and into the ESC this week. Like I said, I won't be able to race this weekend, but I will be back at PT's the following weekend, I believe, pending something crazy happens with work or whatever. If you're in the Indianapolis area, or you're close, or even in Illinois, I know a lot of you guys are in Illinois. If you can make it over for PRI starts tomorrow. For the big car stuff, it's awesome. Um, and yeah, so exciting stuff. I think this was a great episode. I think we covered a few things that will be good for people. And if not, then we had a good time. Let me read these last few comments. Cole, once you start gaining traction and figuring out what you like and don't, you'll start breaking away on your own stuff. It's come. No, I agree, Cole. I agree. So admitting there's a problem is the first step to fixing a problem, right? So I'm definitely a problem. Ryan, the oval competition is super hard to stay consistent in the Midwest. When a bunch of us travel places, the Midwest guys do very well. It's getting tighter and tighter every year. It's awesome to see when people travel. I agree. I am not a massive fan of the home track guy, being the home track guy. I don't want to find one place and that's the only place that I run. I want to go other places. I want to meet new people. I want to see other racetracks. I want to get faster. Um, and much to your point, Ryan, like, I want to get to a point where wherever I unload, I'm fast. So again, I'm speaking it into existence or whatever, but my goal at the end of the summer of 2026, in September at BB Mods, my goal is to be one of the 10 drivers standing on the driver's stand in Mod Sprint and in Mod Late Model, for the top 10 rankings from the summer. Straight up, that's my goal. It's a lofty one. It's one that I don't know if I'll achieve or not, but that's what I'm concerned with. And that is every decision that I make and everything that I do is solely based on that. Um, so that's where I'm at, and I'm going to do everything in my power to. I don't care if I'm number one or number 10. I want to be. That's the goal, is to be on that driver's stand of one of those 10 guys. So yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you all so much. Another 2 hours down. Appreciate you guys very, very much. If you have any content that you want to see, anything like that spring video that I released earlier in the week, if I can do any of those types of videos for anything else that anybody wants to see, please let me know. If I don't know the answer or don't know how to do it properly or don't feel confident doing it, I'll reach out to one of these awesome guys that are willing to help all the time and make sure that I do a video that has some professional input. And if I'm comfortable with how I do it, then I will put that out there and share it. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Get your local racetrack. Good luck to everybody at Slideways this weekend. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. If not, send me a message over on the Scale Labs page or on my personal page. Say what's up. Put in some ideas, put in some topics, ask questions, and I'll make sure that I get some answers. So, again, appreciate you guys. Thank you. Have a great night. Peace.